Hello, welcome back to another pen talk. Thank you very much, the few of you that tune in to watch my channel nowadays, but it doesn't stop me from making videos, because I enjoy making videos. I enjoy sharing my pens. I enjoy buying pens. I mean, that's really the root of my obsession. And today was a new pen day. I bought a number of HongDians recently because I'm just impressed with their design that they've been doing, and this is another one that impresses me. It's the A6. I bought it on AliExpress. It's just that I found that AliExpress had a good selection, but today when I look at the A6 online, I find eBay has excellent prices. I mean, for this eBay price, how could you not say no to this pen? Piston filler, great skeleton design. I love that dark chrome look. Some people may refer to it as some other metal, but I'm pretty certain it's dark chrome because ruthenium is not something I think the Chinese are going to be plating their pens with. But I digress. We're going to explore this pen. My pen friends are admiring it. The frogs are saying we can hold it up, but I decided that it deserved an elegant stand to be on the rotating turntable. So watch us as we explore this pen together. So the first thing you'll notice when you pick up this pen is it has some good weight to it. And it feels good in the hand. And yes, that skeleton is not sharp as you run your fingers across it. But there's always some people that might say, it feels sharp to me because they have sensitive fingers. Great cap band. A little bit of a different clip, kind of like the D5 without that enamel inlay. Nice arrow design. Very functional clip. And we'll see something they haven't done for a while. A nice finial at the top of the cap that identifies the pen as an A6. The cap band doesn't have any identification on it, just a nice design, which kind of goes together with the skeleton design, which is something I haven't seen on another pen. I don't see any design elements that scream, spider or anything. Maybe a little bit of a celestial design. Maybe some of you may know the origins of this design of the skeleton. The cap comes off in a little over one turn, and we'll see a very nice dark nib, number 6. Apparently they only come in extra fine and fine. My guess is because of the effort to plate that dark coating on there. They can't make every nib in it. And it has that new design feed that HongDian's been using, which the other one worked well. This one works just as good, but it just looks nicer. Has those 3 rings there on the section. This plating is not slippery, and it does fit well in my hand without posting. It feels good. I think it's about the perfect weight for a pen. A lot of that weight is focused on this metal section. But for those of you that are interested, you can put that cap there. It does add significantly to the weight of the pen, and it's not too secure. Let's see if it posts on that piston cap or not. No, I say not because I can't turn the cap when I post it, so therefore it must be posting on the barrel. So I unscrewed the nib assembly because some people may not know that these nib assemblies do unscrew. And this is that new design which they've been using on their piston fillers. Nice O-ring there at the back. Nice O-ring there at the bottom. I like the fact that they've improved the design of their nib assembly. We're in really dark mode, as you cannot see. We're going to bring in my trusty LED and play it on this cap to show off some of the interesting details with a different light source. HongDian has really gone to quite lengths to really be good about all the little details of their pen. And you may have asked about the machined acrylic resin that's used for the cap and barrel. Well, it's kind of like a dark gray color, which is interesting. So that, I think, really aesthetically brings out that dark gray plating that's on the skeleton. You can see at the very top there's a plastic insert. If we look at it from this direction, you can see how it's there in place. My guess is to seal up anything that could be there from the finial on the cap, which my guess is this unscrews. I'm not going to do it now, but if you needed to do some work on the clip or whatever, it should be possible to do that. The detail is just really, really nice on this pen. Now that the nib is removed, we can use my trusty measuring stick here. The piston's all the way down, and we'll see the piston's all the way up. Oh, had too much cachaça. And it's not up as far as we've been able to get with other HongDians. And if we bring the piston all the way down, we'll see it's where it normally is, where my pencil mark has been there with other HongDians. So we're going to take this piston out and see if we can increase the movement and increase the ink capacity. Asvine, as some people like to pronounce it, I'm sticking with Asvine, has this nice wrench that works with a lot of pens, and it has a HongDian end to it, but it doesn't fit underneath the cap, and I have that cap backed off as much as I can. But if we take just a HongDian wrench, we'll see it fits fine underneath of that cap. We'll tighten down the cap. Yep. As we can see, it takes some practice to do this. So now it's in there tight. We'll turn it this way, counterclockwise, and it takes a lot of effort to first start it turning, but then once it starts turning, it turns very easily. I like the fact that all the components in that piston are black, so it works well with the pen. So we're going to now take this out. You can see it's well lubricated. I don't understand why it's hollow there at the bottom. Maybe somebody else can explain to me why that is. To me, it limits the travel up and down because it stops and there's that big air gap inside of that piston. So I'm going to work to try to get this piston all the way up when the knob is all the way down. So my approach here is to have that piston be all the way up when this piston cap is all the way down. You can see that gap there. So if we turn it so the whole piston assembly comes out, we'll notice that this piston rod here is very loose. So it can be out that much or in that much. And the other challenge that I have is when you try to put this back in, and my intention is to screw it in more, you just can't get a lot of that piston knob there. As much as I try to work on it, you can see it still stops there. So this is probably something that they could re-engineer to make it a little bit easier to give you a full travel, but it's not easy. I will continue to work. It took me a long time to get my Pelican M800 to have full travel, but that had other challenges to it. So if you continue to unscrew the piston cap, it can come off. You can see how there's a end here that allows that cap to turn the piston rod, but no matter what you do, as you can see, there's some play there. So here I have the piston all the way up, and that gap is still there. So I don't think there's anything we can do to eliminate it. It would take a lot of engineering redesign to remove that. So we'll live with it as it is. I played around a lot with this, and with the piston all the way up, you can see we improved the travel a slight bit, a couple millimeters more. But after I took that blind cap off and tried to reassemble it, it took a lot of realignment and adjustments to get it to where it would go back and this cap would be flush against the top of the barrel. So overall, I don't recommend anybody doing this unless they're into the adventure and enjoy their mechanical skills. So for some reason, this ink called out to me to go into the A6. I have it in one other pen, maybe two, but I'm not happy with them so far. And yes, it's a Diamine Shimmer Ink Tropical Glow. I like the blue family that it's in, and as you can see, it has a decent amount of glitter in it. It settles out, but goes into suspension fairly readily, which is what you want in a shimmering ink. So I've talked about how I'm impressed with the design work, the attention to detail, fit and finish, and just the aesthetic quality of a lot of the Chinese pens that are on the market today. There's been a substantial improvement over the past decade of my involvement with these pens, and this pen is no exception. Besides improving all the other aspects, they now make great nibs that write first time every time, feel great on the paper, lay down a decent amount of ink. This ink seems to be a little bit drier than I remember it, but as you can see from the line, it's still very, very nice, and as you heard, it's very, very smooth. I keep being impressed. So here's a comparison of different finishes on the skeleton pens. Here we have the A6, and next to it the Asvine in nice glittery chrome, the HongDian D1, and also a similar type of chrome. Here's a gold tone skeleton, and here's a Asvine in a very dark matte black coating. A lot of variety here, and hopefully this shows off this nice dark chrome, as I'm calling it, finish on the A6, which I think really distinguishes it from these other pens. So here's some more pens to compare it to. So these pens I picked for some particular reasons. Here's that Aero Design clip on the HongDian D5. So they've basically taken this design and changed it up a little bit to work with the A6. Here's a Jinhao Hollow 100 in that matte black finish. Here's a nice Asvine vac filler in that nice black finish. And here's the HongDian N11 in that nice blue rhombus. And a similar type of dark chrome finish, but these all have a slight different tone and color to them. Let's look a little bit closely. So here we're looking a little bit more closely at the caps. And what I hope to present here is the amazing wide world of pens that we are very, very fortunate to be able to use, buy, purchase, admire. And I think we're in a golden age of fountain pens. And yes, I am focusing on Chinese pens, but I don't see anything that spectacular coming out of other pen makers, and certainly nothing at the price point of these Chinese pens. And I would put this quality up against any of the other ones. Yes, every pen has a few flaws to it. If you look closely enough, you can find a defect in any pen. no matter what the price point is. But to me, pens are to be written with, admired, and looked at, not under a microscope. So we're getting near the end of the review. It's time for some dimensions and some editorial comment. So I think you probably could guess that I really like this pen, more than I expected. It's been underneath my radar. This may be the first review on YouTube, and who knows how many more there might be. There's still a few reviewers that really focus on these amazing pens from China. And some of the more established reviewers are also now coming to realize that these are pretty good pens. So I really like this pen. Sorry, I really like to say I really like this pen. It fits good in the hand. It feels good. That section works well. And it writes well. What else could you want? So let's do some final writing and close it up. Yes, as my handwriting degrades. But this just writes constantly. It's been in a few letters since I've gotten it, and it has continued to surprise me and bring a smile to my face as I put nib to paper. I hope this video finds everyone safe, healthy, and happy, enjoying your pens, enjoying your day. Just, that's what life's all about. Bringing joy to yourself and to others. Thank you for watching. We've reached the end, and we will say bye until the next one. Great writer.